Okay, well, thank you all for being here today. I'm Tank Perry with the Tank Perry Show, an automotive podcast. I am a staunch advocate for minorities and women in the automobile industry, and I'm also a historian by education with roughly 25 years of automotive experience myself. And so, getting going, I want to do introductions for those of you who are out there because this panel is just amazing. I'm going to start with the co-host, Brian Bolden. He's our co-host today. Brian invited me to speak with Central Nissan for Black History Month, and I was so impressed with his demeanor that I knew that I wanted to confab with a project with him. His knowledge of the industry is solid, and his peers at Nissan hold him in high esteem. As a son of the automotive factory executive, Brian spent his formative years learning all about the automotive industry. From a childhood fascination with cars and speed, Brian's ability and passion allowed him to grow his career in an industry he loves. While growing his career, he progressed through increasing levels of responsibility as an area manager, wholesale manager, marketing manager, and head of U.S. parts operation in the industry. Today, Brian is the regional manager of dealer network development, market representation, and customer quality for Nissan North America. He prides himself on being a reflection of the many people that have poured their experience and knowledge into him. He credits his success to the love of his wife, 2 sons, and of course, maintaining a positive outlook and prayer. Our first panelist today, I saw Erica in an interview, and my jaw dropped because she radiates with passion and determination. When I opened her LinkedIn, I was met with her Toni Morrison quote, and I knew her fire was real. It says, when you get these jobs, just remember that your real job is that if you are free, you need to free somebody. If you have some power, then your job is to empower somebody else. Erica's automotive journey began in 2005 when she started working as a service writer for Napa Auto Car Shop in Atlanta. As a young single mom who knew the struggles of dealing with unexpected car repairs, she was able to personally connect with the shop's clients and create a branding and marketing campaign that drove both traffic and reviews. In 2007, she got her independent dealer's license and began buying cars at the auction and selling them at the repair shop with her business partner. Out of that, U-Safe Auto Sales was born, a small independent lot where her automotive retail experience would take off. In 2016, Erica was recognized as the top sales manager for Audi of America and enjoyed a week-long stay in Budapest. In 2019, she was awarded the Flo Kennedy Award by Real Women Atlanta magazine and was nominated for the Rising in Community Excellence Award for contributions to women in the automotive field. Roxanne Milton, our next panelist. Roxanne reached out to me months ago about the military history of her father, of her family from World War I. And then a month later, as I was looking at her LinkedIn, I realized she was yet another hero in the industry. I reached out to her. She said, give me a minute. I need to pray about the request I offered. And I waited. When she called me, I knew she offered so much more in the area that I truly lag in. Roxanne has been an automotive advertising and media consultant and strategist for over 20 years. Roxanne is currently account executive for Effect TV, Comcast Cable's advertising arm in Nashville region. Using data insights, Roxanne helps auto dealers increase market share and move metal by understanding the goals of each profit center within the dealership, and combining the targeting and measurement of digital with the reach and impact of TV. Roxanne has previously held roles at Pure Cars, CBS Radio, Cumulus Broadcasting, Kemp Broadcasting, Sinclair Broadcast Group, Who's Calling Viacom, and in private time, Roxanne has a self-care, self-love, and weight loss video blog called Journey of Joy. Amanda Madlock. I met Amanda in 2006. You're my wife, and I had no idea of who she was and what she did. Amanda is the most unassuming, down to earth professional that I've ever met, and I'm glad to call her family. Amanda has been in the trucking industry since 1996 as a vice president, treasurer for Stanford Madlock Trucking Inc. in Lincoln, Nebraska. Madlock Trucking was founded by Sid Madlock Sr. in 1967. She holds two bachelor's degrees from Amherst College in Illinois. Amanda and Stanford have 6 children, 8 grandchildren, and 6 great-grandchildren.
18, dear. 18 grandkids.
Is it 15?
18.
18, okay. 18, wow. And so Madlock Trucking is a licensed and bonded freight shipping and trucking company running freight hauling business from Lincoln, Nebraska. Janelle Ross. Okay, so we don't have a whole hour, but you've got to see her accomplishments. I know, you're so humble. But during my research of African American automotive history, I came across Janelle's interviews, articles, and history in the industry, and I was awestruck. She is ahead of her time in every aspect, honors her parents, gives back so much of her time, and humble. It would take the hour to read and list her accomplishments. Janelle is the president of Bob Ross Auto Group in Centerville, Ohio. The Bob Ross dealerships include 3 franchises, Buick, GMC, and Mercedes-Benz. Mercedes-Benz of Centerville is the first African-American owned Mercedes-Benz dealership in the world. Currently, the Bob Ross Auto Group has the distinction of being the only Mercedes-Benz and Buick GMC dealership owned by an African-American woman. Janelle facilitates a team of managers representing the operational departments within the dealership. She develops long-range goals, objectives, and policies for the Bob Ross dealerships and works to maintain an open line of communication with 100 employees. This year, Bob Ross Auto Group will celebrate 47 years as a Buick dealer, 42 years as a Mercedes-Benz dealer, and 39 years as a GMC dealer. Janelle is the only second-generation African-American woman automobile dealer in the country. Okay, so with that, we're gonna look at maybe getting this started. And I think the way that we wanna do this is, Janelle, I wanna start with you. I'm sorry to pick on you, but I want to start with you because I think that you can really set the stage of Black and women of color in the automotive industry based on your story. So when you were growing up, what aspirations did you have in life, whether they were personal, extracurricular, or professional, and how does it mesh for where you are today?
Well, thank you for the very nice introduction, Robert, and glad to be here with everyone today. In terms of a personal aspiration, I thought I was going to be a professional tennis player. I did go to college playing on a tennis scholarship. I started at Florida A&M University, but probably in high school and definitely in college, I realized from a professional perspective, I did want to become an automobile dealer. So from the time I was 4, having the dealership a part of our family was just exactly what it is, a part of our family. And so having the time to spend with my dad at the dealership and working on, whenever I could, a certain project or paper that we could choose, I always did something centered around the automobile industry. What I didn't know was foresight for the time that I had spent with my dad and worked officially after graduation for 5 years was a blessing because he unfortunately passed at an early age of 62. And I took over the day-to-day at 27, and that will be 24 years this July. So things do come full circle. I always wish that I had more time with him to understand what was in his head on the whys and the whats and those type of things, but very fortunate to have several people around me that were friends of his that have become mentors of mine to help me understand where he was at the time.
It's very good and very inspirational. It does seem like that you contribute a lot to your father and your mother, and that's the one thing that I picked up and visited with you, and I thank you for that. It is for women to be in powerful positions in the industry.
And women, which is why this group is so powerful.
I would have been in Budapest anyway, because the only reason we made those deals, because I'm not from the dealer side.